Are you a technician who wants to set yourself apart? Then the Trusted Technician podcast is for you. I'm Derek Hoferter, coach and trainer at SBE, and on this podcast, we will have experienced HVAC coaches and trainers, as well as top-performing technicians, all sharing their tips and strategies to help you be more successful. Welcome to another episode of the Trusted Technician podcast. This is Coach Derek at SBE. Today's guest is Mackenzie. Mackenzie's joining us from Snyder's Heating and Cooling. They're located in Missouri. Mackenzie, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, Mackenzie, we've met in person a few times. You've attended some of the classes that I've taught in the Kansas
Yep.
City area for technicians. Before we dive into any of that, let's just start at the beginning. Mackenzie, how did you end up being an HVAC tech?
So, high school, I kind of struggled, knew that schooling was not my thing, did not like it. We had a program, it's called NCC. It's pretty much schooling for any type of trades, that kind of stuff. Went there, kind of did a welding, did a construction, just knew that stuff wasn't for me. Didn't want to be oily and greasy all day. So enjoyed the HVAC part, did 2 years of that. Took a year off, just kind of didn't know if I actually wanted to do it or not, to be honest. Then found Snyder's and joined, and I've been here for 2 years, really, really enjoying it. I feel like I've been doing pretty good for 2 years into the field.
Absolutely. And okay, so 2 years. What have you kind of discovered or found that you enjoy the most about now being a full-time tech?
I really enjoy just talking to customers. Like I have my maintenances I go to, I've been to for 2 years. They know me by name, I know them by name. I kind of know their stories. We can kind of talk about that, and helping people is a huge thing, like feeling fulfilled at the end of the day that I helped somebody get heat, I helped an old lady, that kind of stuff. It just makes me feel a lot better that I didn't just sit somewhere and do nothing all day. I've really helped people.
For sure. And what have you found to be like the challenges or things that maybe you don't like so much about it?
The opposite customers, the ones that aren't necessarily the happiest to see me, the grumpy ones because their system aren't working. I'm not really good at that kind of stuff, but I'm definitely getting better. They're just not my favorite people when they're in that kind of mood, but it's not the worst. I really haven't had as much as I thought of people that weren't excited to see personally, female, that kind of stuff, but it definitely worried me for a while, but it's
So
definitely a lot better.
you found then that maybe your thoughts about like what people would think of because it is maybe we've had other women on the podcast before who are techs who have kind of mentioned similar type of things that they're not maybe who the customer expected
For
at their
sure.
door.
Yeah,
So you maybe thought there would be more of that than what you've experienced.
100%. Especially the call ahead. Sometimes they think I'm the office lady when I'm calling, and obviously I'm not, and kind of redirecting them. And then most of them are surprised and pleasant about it, and others are like, oh, okay, all right. And then at the end, they're kind of changed and happy about it. And I surprised them or that kind of stuff. They want to tell their daughters about it. I've had a couple that they actually reached out to me personally, and they went into schooling, literally. They
Oh,
enjoyed
wow.
me so much they wanted to do that as a trade. So
Well, that's a massive compliment.
yeah, it feels really, really good. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. So, from like a where you're starting from standpoint, right? A bit of a double whammy of being a
Yeah.
woman and being young,
Yeah, for sure.
all right?
And young, I think, has more of an effect than being a woman right now, honestly. It's just people just not believing what you have to say, and you have to prove yourself quite a bit more than some of our older people in the program.
Oh, I believe it. So, Mackenzie, like I said, you've attended two classes that I've taught a year apart,
Yeah.
right? So, and then kind of like in your timeline, I guess maybe the first one that you attended was like you had like a year of experience, and then the
Uh-huh.
second one you had 2 years of experience. And I know you kind of had different, well, let's say experiences with training and things like that of like
Well,
just takeaways and
100%.
usability. You want to just kind of share a little bit like what you're sharing with me of like the first time versus going through it again?
So first time, I feel bad for Dean for saying this. I definitely wasn't interacting. I wasn't talking. I wasn't using the knowledge. I didn't use it. I'm gonna sound really bad. I didn't use it like at all after that class. And then Dean signed me up. I came back to the class. He gave me that second chance, and you called me out in front of the class. I did more role play, talking with people. I think after every step of the timeline and everything, we kind of did some interacting with the people that were there, and that helped a lot because it just gets you just started going. And I've done more training here. So the second class definitely hit home a lot harder, and it's definitely helped doing it in real life and using it. And I feel way more comfortable about it now.
Yeah. I do love and appreciate like the honesty about that, right? And that's just overall, like an issue that everyone struggles with of like train. I don't think anyone would ever say like training's a bad thing, right? Training is good. We appreciate it. We sit there, we take it, but then there's a whole other equation of actually
Mhm.
using it.
Yeah.
So tell me just like a little bit more. And like I said, I appreciate your honesty because I know that there's others listening to this who probably have felt the same way, feel the same way. Like why would you sit there for 2 days in a class and then not use the material? Just kind of like walk me through that a little bit.
Yeah. So I didn't have anybody to kind of help. I mean, they helped me a little bit, but I just kind of did what I did when I went out. So I was just comfortable with my own talking method. The whole timeline, the whole talking, going around the house just felt so weird. And I'm one of those people, I'm used to my routine. I'm used to that kind of stuff. So getting out of that was kind of difficult. And I used it, I think, twice, and the customer felt awkward because I wasn't doing it right. And I was just
Right.
like, I'm never using this again. I'm just done. Nope, not for me. And then that second time I've used it, we did some more training here and used it more in the field with some of the people I've been around for a while. So I kind of told them, hey, I'm pretty new, but I want to try this and let's do this. And it's definitely not become second nature yet at all. Because I mean, I think it was like a month or two ago that I was at that class. So I've
Right.
used it more for sure. But definitely still getting used to it. But I've kept a lot of the things that we've done, especially like call aheads has been a huge change for what the process has done compared to what I used to do. It's completely different.
Yeah, you were saying before that your call ahead has really changed and that you felt like it was now kind of setting you up for better success in the house. And so
100%.
let's actually dive into that because I think I was telling you before, I don't know if we've really dove into call aheads on this podcast before, and they I think get overlooked. A lot of techs don't do them. Like when I'm in a room, hey, who here does a call ahead? Maybe half the hands will go up. Who does it all the time? A lot of hands go down. And then I think too, there's like good ways to do it and better ways to do it and bad ways to do it. So tell me about what you were doing before and what changes you've made and like what's working for you, you feel like on your call aheads.
So before I used to just call and say, hey, good morning, how are you? That kind of stuff. And then I would just be like, okay, well, I'm 10 minutes out. That's how it is.
Classic
And
call ahead.
just, yeah, very basic.
Yeah.
And now I definitely do the same beginning, but then I kind of say what I'm there for just to make sure, because we've had mix ups and stuff. And then I don't get to the house and have that awkwardness in between. So I fix that. And then just kind of talking about if I've never been there before, if we've never been there before, just kind of getting some opening of the unit, if they've had maintenances, if they've done any of that, because a lot of customers don't think about it. And I found that way more from doing that. And then they kind of talk about it. And if it's their wife that's there, she can talk to her husband and kind of get that done. And then I've used it a couple times. I'm not gonna say I do it every time, but I've done the gas station a couple times. And it definitely gets a chuckle every time. And I haven't picked anything up, so I'm not mad about that.
Yeah, it breaks the
But
ice, right?
it for sure breaks the ice. And it's a talking point when I get there too, because they're like, I've never ever had anybody ask about that, but it kind of was awesome. And so they've all liked it that I've used it. So
Yeah, because as we discussed in the training, like a good call ahead should start building trust.
Yes.
And so some of the things that you're mentioning that you now do, right, are like demonstrating some competency, like, hey, I know why I'm coming out here. I know about the history. Let me ask you some questions about previous, repairs. It shows some authenticity, right? You get to be yourself, like the gas station thing and all that. And then it also demonstrates empathy, right? So I know I've asked you before, like your superpower, and you've said like being able to relate, and stuff. So do you feel like this type of a format for a call ahead lets you start being relatable?
Yeah. 100%. Because I've had a lot of customers that like they kind of you can tell there's kids, there's just a lot going on in their house, and I've kind of maybe cut the call ahead a little shorter just because I understand being on the phone and dealing with all that's harder than
Hmm.
when I'm in person just talking to you and we have the kids going around and it's fine. And it definitely I feel like has connected with the customers better, kind of pre-warned them because some customers don't know that it may be me coming out, that kind of stuff. Just all together, just I feel like they've enjoyed it and it's connected a lot better.
Yeah, and I know you're a high detail person,
Yeah.
right? So the obviously like what we've been talking about, the call ahead benefits the homeowner, the customer, because it preps them, it gets them thinking, and all of those things. But you're finding personal benefit out of just learning more details.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. If you throw me to the wolves, I'm gonna fail. 100%. I've told Dean this. It's just not my thing. I'm not one of those people that can just improvise or do any of that. So getting a little bit more of what they kind of know about their system. If they don't know anything, fine. I just like to know that before I go there. Or if they're one of those people that they're gonna know detail by detail what happens with their unit, it's a little bit more of like a upfront, just oh my goodness, okay, all right. So it's nice to know that before than when you're just there in front of them and kind of have to process that. You can have that time driving to kind of prepare yourself and get ready and know what you're getting into.
Yeah, I love that. For people listening to this, whether you've sat in the training, before and you were like Mackenzie the first time and you didn't implement it, or if you're not doing a call ahead or you've never been taught how to do one, right? Like I would recommend anyone listening to this use it, right? Like, do you say that to like
Yeah.
your colleagues too? Like, guys, do the call ahead. It helps you so much.
It really does. And it prepares the customer so you're not just showing up at the door and they're not prepared. And it's kind of more difficult, but the people that don't answer, try to get them to call you back because it does help. It really does. And it's difficult to get them to call you back, but when you do, it's worth it. And I've really learned to do that a lot better for sure.
Yeah, that'll be sometimes a pushback of like, hey, calling ahead is a waste of time because no one answers their phone, which
Mhm.
is not obviously not 100% true. A lot of people do. Another component to this is that can be helpful is if the office, you know, when booking the appointment, lets the homeowner know that when your technician is heading that way, they're going to give you a call. So be available and answer that, right? That's helpful. So, but how do you get some of the people to call you back? Like, what is it that you're doing that's making that happen?
So when I call, I kind of just say, "Hey, it's Mackenzie with Snyder's. I have a couple questions, and I just want to clarify some things. So, if you could call me back, I would like to know kind of where I need to park, what you're kind of expecting. If you could give me a call back at your earliest convenience. If not, I'll be showing up in about 10, 15 minutes. But I would really appreciate a phone call back. My phone number is blah, blah, blah."
That's
So it just
beautiful.
kind of, they're like, "Oh, what questions do you have?" And that kind of just gets them hopefully interested. It's worked a couple times, hasn't, not 100% success rate. I'm not going to say that, but it definitely has helped more than
Yeah,
just,
that's so beautiful. Well, as a trainer, that's like tears to my eyes to hear, to hear that. And there's nothing that works 100% of the time, right? And that is not even the goal, right?
yeah.
So that's really good. So I know you're really good at selling maintenance agreements. Why is that?
It's just, it's just so easy because it's just, if what's what makes sense to the unit. I mean, you get two services. You get a peace of mind. You get 10% off for us. You get a discount on parts. So ours comes with hopefully a little bit more than other places. And it just gets our foot in the door. A lot of people would rather just have us come twice a year, get that peace of mind, and just get that out of the way so they don't have to think about it. I've had a lot of customers that I go to once or twice a year and they're just, well, why do you keep fixing? You just keep fixing it. And it's like, because that's what you need. So you're not calling me when it's 30 degrees, when it's 0 degrees, when it's that kind of stuff. And we can just get it out of the way and you're done for the year. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to do anything. And a lot of customers have just gravitated towards it. It's just not a magnet, but it definitely just gets them where it's out of their mind. They can focus on everything else because everybody's busy and everybody has 50 things going on. And HVAC is not something a lot of people think about. So I'll think about it. You do your thing.
I I love everything you said, right? And what I heard you say is it's a no-brainer. Like, why would the homeowner not want to do it,
Yeah,
right? And I love
100%.
that because, I love that it's easy for you because, for a lot of techs, it's not easy. They struggle to sell them. Companies struggle to sell them. I've been on 2 coaching calls today, already working with companies who are in hurting right now in the off season because they haven't sold enough maintenance agreements, right?
Hmm.
And so I love that because I think like at the technician level, the most important part of selling maintenances is you as the tech have to believe in them.
100%. Yeah,
And so everything that you're saying, if you don't believe in it, or if you're wishy-washy about it, or you're like meh about, why would your customer get one if you as their
100. Yeah.
tech don't believe in it? So do you feel like, I know you said like kind of a superpower being relatable. Do you think that this is a piece of that too, that because you believe in it so much, the customer believes in you and then by extension believes
Yes.
in the maintenance?
Yeah. And I use a lot of like other stories. Like we're pretty clicky around here. So like we have smaller towns, they know a lot of people there. And then Platte City, everybody kind of knows a lot of people there. So I kind of use that. And if they know somebody, I'm like, go talk to them. I mean, go. I don't want to be the one that has to say it. Let them talk, let them see. And if you agree, I'll come out. I mean, I kind of put it into their court, but I definitely wholeheartedly believe in maintenance. So I feel very comfortable just talking about them. People ask a lot of questions on like, does it actually need serviced every year? I'm like, I mean, do you service your car like you service a lot of things every year that you don't think about. Why don't you do your HVAC system? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just using real world stuff that they maintenance is just there's no reason not to. There's really not.
Yeah, so you feel like if they don't get a maintenance, if there's a homeowner that does not have a maintenance, they're being like crazy, right? They're being like very irresponsible.
Yeah, and well, kind of. So there is older units and there is units that they don't have an issue at all. But when it does have an issue, it's going to be at the worst time. That's how it usually works. You
That's
know what
how
I
it
mean?
works.
So even if you don't have an issue for 3 or 4 years, you still have that one issue that's at the most inconvenient time. Wouldn't you rather take care of it beforehand before you have to have that inconvenience at the worst time? So there is a lot of people that push back, but I can't sell 100%. So the people I do, it's pretty simple. It's just, I mean, if you want your system to feel comfortable all year, have me out every two times a year. I mean, it's
It's
pretty
logical.
simple.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's just a few more questions for you, Mackenzie, and then I know I have to let you
Yeah.
go. So this might be a more challenging type of question, but you've done great with all my questions so far. So I believe in you. We talk about belief. So you run a lot of maintenances, the visits, right? You sell a lot and then you run the visit. Tell me a little bit about like obviously you believe in the maintenance itself, but like your mindset when you're it's like, hey, I know I'm running 3 maintenances or I'm running 4 maintenances. Like what's your
Mhm.
mindset? What's your goal on these visits?
So I like to go like as in depth, hopefully as I can. I'm not 100%. I'm not been here for 10 years, so I don't know a bunch about the systems, but I know enough to kind of go in depth with them. So my goal is to pick apart everything and I've gotten pretty good at the photos and videos and stuff. So I want the customer to see it as well. I try to have them come with me, but a lot of customers, as I said before, they have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I try to have them kind of understand their system as well as clean their system, maintenance their system, see anything that's wrong with it. But I also want to get them familiar with it. So I don't know if that kind of answered the
No,
question.
that's a great goal. Like I think that's great. You've made it very like customer focused, right? I'm gonna be detailed, I'm gonna be
Yes.
thorough, and I'm gonna get them all the info. Like I that's the goal that I want, I think, for like a
Because
technicians
I
to
feel like
have.
if you give them the information, they can kind of branch off and want a cleaning or want a fix for it. Like I had an inducer that was over amping and he was like, "So what does that mean?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, it's kind of up to you, kind of what we do, but it's showing signs." So, and then I just kind of let him talk and he was like, "So you think, I mean, I think I'm wanting to replace it. I don't want to have to deal with this when it's hot." And I'm like, or when it's cold, sorry.
Yeah,
And he was like, "Yeah, let's just replace it." So I mean, it's super easy. Just put it in his court. And he was like, "Yep, let's do it." I was like,
that's
"Okay, all
beautiful.
right."
That's so beautiful. That's great. Well, Kinsey, speaking of maintenances and stuff, I know you have calls to run and work to do today. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. Any last words you want to leave people with or last thoughts?
Um, just kind of if you go to an in-person training, try to do stuff. Don't just sit there. I mean, it is scary and it's not the most fun thing that we look forward to. I mean, we just want to go to work, but if you do that, it'll really branch out and get you more comfortable with the selling and the everything. Just interact way more. It's worth it. And if you don't click that first time, just try out a second class. I mean, it worked for me, so it might work for you. But just believe in yourself. You guys got this.
I love that. Thanks, Mackenzie.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to the Trusted Technician Podcast. If you would like to learn more about SBE, you can find us online at sbeodyssey.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, we would appreciate it if you would leave us a review. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.